I'll wait to get up there anytime.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody just take a look around, all the people around you. Wow, that's great. Isn't it great? So, in all intents and purposes, according to the National Wildlife Federation, you are observing sitting in, on, and around a watershed. Water, as you all may know, according to science, is essential for life to exist, all forms, be it bacterium, humans, whatever. Until we find synthetic life, for example, on another planet, we require water to survive. Unfortunately, however, the form of water that we require to survive is becoming more and more scarce as time goes on, due to a number of factors. As somebody who's worked with the Fish and Boat Commission, somebody who's a proud lover of the environment, somebody who's a member of Trout Unlimited, somebody who's worked with the Fish and Boat Commission on projects, etc. I've seen a lot of these kind of pollution scenarios firsthand. So I'd like to talk about water pollution today under two main key heading ideas. One, I'd like to share some of the sad truths of water pollution today. And two, I'd like to share with you some things we can do about it. Okay? So here I have a model here, transitioning to my first key point, some of the sad truths. Here we have a model here. This is all meant to serve purpose as all of Earth's water. So that's 100% of Earth's water that I measured out with these little airsoft BBs. I know some of you are familiar with airsoft BBs, so I use that. So there's about 2,800 BBs in here, okay, just to give you kind of a ballpark estimate. So according to National Geographic, about 2.5% of Earth's water is considered fresh water. Now, that's not necessarily drinkable water, but we'll get to that in a minute. That's kind of like ponds, rivers, streams, lakes, etc. So, Lake Baikal, for instance, in Russia, is a great example. It supplies people with fresh drinking water. However, our 2.5% looks about like that. It's about half a shot, okay? So that's 2.5%. That's fresh water. Like Lake Superior, Lake Redmond, whatever. All of those, all around the world, that's 2.5%. Now, unfortunately, according to the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, approximately 1.2 trillion gallons of sewage is dumped into U.S. waters annually. So that's every year. 1.2 trillion. So because of that and a number of other factors, we're left with, according to National Geographic, about 0.007% of the entire Earth's water. That's 007, kind of like the agent James Bond. But what that leaves us with is not even one of these little BBs here. Not even one of those. So it's almost so small that I would probably have to, cut one of these with like a little laser or something to show you that. So that's that. Unfortunately, that's the condition we're in. Now, we can filter water. Yes, we can filter water. We can even filter salt water. However, we must not forget that in conditions of scarcity, we can't always filter our water and make it clean and drinkable. For example, millions of people die every year due to water scarcity or water-related diseases. In fact, it is estimated that approximately one child dies every 21 seconds around the world. That's every year. So every 21 seconds, one child dies around the world. So just to give you perspective. And as sad as that is, that's some of the sad truths. Now, in the time I have now, I'd like to transition to, before we get too depressed and sad, I'd like to transition to some things we can do to prevent it. Some things, as I've said, we're in a watershed, as according to National Wildlife Federation and all that. So what can we do here and now? So that's what I'm transitioning to next, is what we can do about it. Now, here we have, like if you're into fishing like I am, you can use these, which are certain baits that are 100% biodegradable, non-toxic for the environment. So what that means is we can still go fishing and enjoy fishing and catch and release and all of that, like I love to do, and not pollute the environment, not leave things that don't biodegrade. For example, some plastics can take over 400 years to biodegrade naturally. So another thing we can do, when we use grease, fats, oils, kudos to mom and dad. One thing that we do is we'll freeze in a cup, for example, the fats and oils we use, and then put them in the garbage instead of down the garbage disposal. That's supposed to be better for the environment. Now, to recap, that's some of the things we can do about it in the time we have now, which if you'd like to talk more afterwards, we can. But I'd like to transition to kind of recapping what we talked about today. We talked about some of the sad truths of water pollution, and we talked about some things we can do about it. So now, in my closing remarks here, to try to wrap it up, I know you guys have places to be, things to do. Thich Nhat Hanh once said, great monk, he said, happiness, something along the lines of happiness is the path. It's not happiness. There is no path to happiness. It's not what you do. Something along the lines of that. It's happiness is the path. So what we can do in our daily lives can make an effect on everyone around us and the environment and the economy and things like that. But same thing with this. We can influence the planet one step at a time by picking up trash, recycling,